Hi, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about vegan diets and vegetarian diets. And if you're on a vegan diet, maybe it's not working for you, but veganism has become more popular as mainstream media claims it's better for your hormones, for weight loss, for energy, and of course, the environment. But the truth is, more people are finding themselves feeling better when they first begin the vegan diet, not because of what they are eating, but because of what they're not eating. And typically, anyone who starts a vegan diet has come from the standard American diet full of processed foods, inflammatory seed oils, refined sugars, conventionally raised beef and chicken, and any of the studies that push the vegan diet that are saying, well, all of this red meat is causing disease. They're talking about conventional meat that is put with the processed buns and the processed foods that come with the full standard American diet. They're not saying, oh, well, let's compare a vegan diet to healthy wild animal protein, low carb diet. There's no studies like that. They're now coming out with them, but any vegan person is going to be pointing to these studies that have the standard American diet full of processed vegetable oils and foods that are full of these toxins that are going to cause disease in your body. And when you eliminate those GMO-laden foods that inflame the body, cause increased oxidative stress, increased insulin resistance, and leaky gut, anything other than that food combination will show an improvement in energy and health. So to magnify their life change or identity, because nowadays, when you're talking about food or not food, people are looking for an identity, right? They're going to social media. They're just trying to find a group to identify with because the world is so opposed and we're all looking for some boost in self-confidence. Well, it's really easy to say I'm a vegan, right? You are now part of this great group out there. It's kind of like identifying with a religion and saying I'm a vegan versus saying I'm the non-standard American diet eater. That's not very easy to say. And when someone identifies as a vegan, there's this dogma that they have to feel that they have to be tied to, and that by eating no animal products, regardless of their side effects. So they're now put themselves in this camp where they don't want to get out of. So before we even begin about the downfalls of a vegan diet, I want you to sit back if you're someone who is a vegan and say, well, why am I a vegan? And maybe let's retool that term to, I'm actually a DNA dieter. How about that? I eat according to my DNA. I am not a keto person. I eat keto, I eat low carb. I then have days where I'm carnivore. I have days where I have more vegetables, but I'm listening to my body and listening to my DNA. I am not going to stick to one mantra because that might be limiting my own health goals. So this is something that I've learned. I mean, I've been paleo, I've been vegan, I've been vegetarian, I've been carnivore. I play around with it, and your body needs different foods at different stages in life. So it's not like you stick to one stage forever as well. So the benefits of switching to a vegan diet typically has diminishing returns after about 6 months when the body's nutritional deficiencies start to wreak havoc. That first 6 months, the body's like, oh my God, thank you for getting all of that processed food out of my diet. Just starve yourself. I don't care. Just get all of that inflammatory stuff out. And then about 6 months in, it's like, okay, I'm a little better, but I'm missing a lot of the nutrients. I'm missing the iron, the B vitamins, all of these vitamins that the body needs. And every study showing disease stemming from animal meat, like I mentioned, is based on the standard American diet, including conventionally raised chicken and beef, because they're the most popular, toxic vegetable oils like canola oil, and the processed carbs. Go to the fast food restaurants. You've got the French fries and canola oil, the buns that are produced. I don't even know if they're real grains that they use. And then this meat patty that probably isn't even 100% meat, let alone it's conventionally raised. And those cows are eating GMO grains. Grains are meant to fatten you. So that's what those things are doing, even to the animals that they're eating. So why isn't a vegan diet right for everybody? Well, long-term, most vegans see symptoms manifest, including weight gain, insulin resistance, arthritis, inflammation, nutritional deficiencies, and hormonal balances. I'll never forget, one of my friends went to this cleanse week where she was on a vegan cleanse down in San Diego in this very relaxing, holistic environment. And they were juicing all week. And she came back and I go, well, how do you feel? She goes, I've never felt worse in my life. And here she is away from the stresses of life. It literally was a resort and spa with vegan foods and mostly juicing. And she felt horrible. And there's a reason. The vegan sources of nutrients are not only suboptimal, but the overall diet can actually cause leaky gut and inflammation so that the little nutrients you are consuming are not even absorbed. And the typical vegan diet includes many of the healthy wrong foods, including sulfur, oxalates, lectins, and mold. And if you've been listening to me, you know some of these foods, you've heard of them. Well, the sulfur foods. Sulfur is a compound found in many foods, even medication, that have to be metabolized by our body's detoxification pathways. That's great if you have no problem with it. But one paradox is that the healthy sulfur-rich foods such as kale and broccoli may be leading to diseases such as Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, arthritis, and even mental health issues. And those foods include the cruciferous vegetables, cauliflower, kale, broccoli, bok choy, onions, garlic, even egg yolks. So if you're getting triggered by some of the foods I just mentioned, you probably need to stay away from all of those foods until you actually heal your leaky gut. What's even more is that there are the environment and the toxins that we're surrounded by may actually impact your sulfur metabolism further. Gluten that's found in grains and wheat and rye and barley are typically sprayed with glyphosate, which then also contributes to the disruption in sulfur metabolism. So it's a double whammy. So signs that you have a compromised sulfur metabolism: bloat, gas, malabsorption of nutrients, allergies to these medications that contain sulfur, reactions to red and white wine, reactions to garlic or eggs, asthma, wheezing after ingesting your foods, especially dried fruits or dried foods with preservatives, strong urine odor after eating asparagus, arthritis, tendinitis, joint pain, Parkinson's disease, Crohn's disease, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, ADHD. Yes, you can have these issues from eating the wrong healthy foods. Neurotransmitter imbalances such as dopamine, epinephrine, and serotonin. Skin rashes, including psoriasis and eczema. So those are the sulfur vegetables and sulfur foods. Then you get into the oxalates. Oxalic acid is a natural occurring molecule with a toxic and corrosive acid. And when it attaches itself to a mineral like calcium, magnesium, potassium, or sodium, it becomes an oxalate. And then what happens is it will find itself in your tissues. They're found in vegan foods such as almonds, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, most nuts, berries, and chocolate. If you get one thing out of this talk today, stop eating spinach and almonds. They are the highest in oxalates. And what's the problem with oxalates is not, unlike the sulfur vegetables and some of the others we're going to be talking about, is oxalates stay in your tissues for years. So it's really hard to get them out, and they can cause thyroid issues, Hashimoto's, urogenital issues, arthritis, joint pain, kidney stones, gout, and so much more. I had a horrible skin breakout, and that was triggered by too many oxalates. And I also had to pass a kidney stone. I've given birth to 3 kids. I'd much rather give birth to a 4th than pass another kidney stone. I don't recommend it for anybody. If you're in that position, I do have a kidney stone cleanse that actually helps cleanse the body of all oxalates, and helps with the arthritis and the gout and the other symptoms as well. Then the next group in the that are vegan foods are the lectins, and they don't get broken down by your GI tract. They disrupt digestion, reduce energy absorption, weaken your immune system, and throw off your whole gut bacteria. They poke holes in your intestinal walls and leak into your bloodstream. And this is known as leaky gut, and it causes massive inflammation all over your body. This can damage your internal organs, your joint tissues, and may even be the source of autoimmune disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis or diabetes. So these lectins, where do you find them? The nightshades, like tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, potatoes, all of the beans. Red kidney beans, if you don't properly soak them, could actually kill you. That's how dangerous it could be. Fruits like zucchini, pumpkins, and melons. Grains, including the wheats, the oats, the quinoa, rye, wheatgrass. Yeah, we all did our wheatgrass shots, right? When we thought that was healthy. Those are full of lectins. Corn and corn syrup. Dairy from A1 cows. You're going to start hearing about A1 cows versus A2. A2 seems to be much easier for people to digest. Some nuts and seeds, oils, including soy, grapeseed, corn, peanut, cottonseed, safflower, sunflower, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, and of course the killer, canola oil. So those are the lectins. Some people are okay with lectins and just have to worry about sulfur and oxalates. This is where you get into pinpointing what foods are causing issues. Then the next food group, mold. Who wants to be eating mold? But a lot of vegan foods are prone to having mold that can lead to inflammation, liver backup, and allergies. And those include peas, grapes, mushrooms, cantaloupe, beans, corn, peanuts, sesame seeds. Now, just remember, I've talked about beans, corn, and peanuts in a couple of these groups where they not only have mold, but they might be a lectin and an oxalate as well, a double or triple whammy. And so those are foods that I recommend everybody stay away from. The side effects of a vegan diet, the plant anti-nutrients. So all vegetables have anti-nutrients. Why? Because vegetables can't get up on their 4 legs and run away from you. They have to protect themselves. They're sitting ducks out in the wild. So the way they protect themselves from insects and other pests and now humans is to have some sort of anti-nutrient. And depending on a person's individual metabolic health and immune status, those anti-nutrients can be benign or extremely detrimental to the body. But then you've got the nutritional deficiencies of these vegan foods. Some essential nutrients like magnesium, potassium, iron, zinc, selenium, vitamin A, the B vitamins, D, E, niacin, folate are either absent completely from vegan foods or found minimal amounts of in those vegan foods. And to make matters worse, the soils are completely depleted of the nutrients compared to just 70 years ago. Think about this. One peach from 1950 has the equivalent of eating 50, that's 50 peaches today. I don't know about you, but if you have no problems eating peaches, you will have a stomach ache if you try to eat 50. There's no doubt. So just that's the same goes for the broccoli and for all of these vegetables that we think we're getting our nutrients from. So I like vegetables. I eat vegetables, but when I eat them, it's because I like them. It's not for the nutrient density of them. I get my nutrients from the wild animal protein. Even if they have some of the nutrients, the bioavailability from these vegan foods is much lower due to the plant's anti-nutrients. And if the oxalates are binding to minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium, depriving our bodies of these nutrients, and then the phytates block the absorption of the critical nutrients like the calcium, iron, and zinc. So you can see how it's like this vicious cycle. When a plant food is substituted for meat, zinc absorption was reduced by almost half. And vegetarians may need to increase dietary iron by 80% to compensate for an estimated lower iron bioavailability of 10% from a vegetarian diet, compared with 18% from a mixed Western diet that incorporates meat or animal protein. Another downside to a vegan diet, you're hungry all the time. That feeling of appetite satisfaction only comes from this hormone called CCK in the gut that tells your brain, oh, I've got plenty of food. I feel great. And guess what it's triggered by? Amino acids from animal protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Vegan foods do not trigger this hormone. And that's why you feel like you can constantly eat like 10 cups of salad, or even like a can of Pringles, or a whole pizza without feeling full, and you'll just be really bloated. When you eat 2 ribeyes, you're gonna go, I can't binge on this food. My brain is saying I've got plenty, because that nutrient density in the meat is so good that the gut is telling the brain, well, you've got plenty, you're good, you're not starving. Let's turn up the thermostat, and let's actually increase our metabolism. We are getting plenty of nutrients. Let's turn on the thyroid. Let's heat up the metabolism. Let's start burning our body fat, because we have what we need. Now, what's another side effect of a vegan diet? Increased insulin resistance. I know very few vegans who can do it right without eating a ton of carbs to get the right amount of protein. It's difficult to ingest a sufficient amount of that protein on a vegan diet without eating an immense amount of carbs. Most of the vegan protein sources like quinoa or hemp or beans come with a lot of carbs. All of those carbs convert into glucose, even eventually leading to insulin resistance over time. And insulin resistance leads to inflammation, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, hormonal imbalance, estrogen dominance, and all the metabolic diseases. So in the beginning, it might work for you. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm eating the same thing I've been eating for 10 years, and now I'm gaining weight. I have arthritic pain. I've got brain fog. What's going on? Why can't I not get away with what I was getting away with? That's because your insulin resistance is creeping up on your blood sugar is creeping up. And then all of these metabolic diseases start to occur. You're also going to have hormonal imbalance. Estrogen dominance results from insulin resistance, excess carb consumption, pesticides on GMO crops, inflammatory grains, leaky gut, and a compromised detoxification pathways. Each one of those individually cause estrogen dominance, and you get all of them from a vegan diet. So all of these factors are compiling on top of each other, causing hormonal decline and estrogen dominance. So it's really difficult to dig yourself out of that hole. And then you've got hypothyroidism and a slow metabolism. Thyroid health depends on amino acids and iodine. So that T4 and T3 and T2 stands for tyrosine and 2, 3, or 4 molecules of iodine to function properly. Tyrosine's only found in animal protein. And then that's in addition to a diet that's absent of those oxalates. Oxalates are in only vegan sources, and those oxalates love just camping ground in your thyroid, clogging your receptor sites, causing Hashimoto's, and hypothyroidism. So it's a double whammy again. And the vegan diet does not supply sufficient iodine or amino acids for your thyroid health. And the thyroid gland is a primary target for those oxalates to attach to. Then you've got weight gain. As insulin resistance and hormone imbalances increase, weight gain will eventually occur. And without those proper amino acids, iodines, and other nutrients supporting thyroid health, a vegan diet typically leads to hypothyroidism. Most vegans do have hypothyroid issues. Then you get hair loss and dry skin. Well, why? Hair loss and dry skin are symptoms that a diet's low in protein, B vitamins, magnesium, and other nutrients, low thyroid, and increased toxicity. All of those issues lead to hair loss. And most vegans eventually see these symptoms arise, and they will say, it doesn't make sense. I've cleaned up my diet. I eat super clean, whatever that means to them. And they're experiencing hair loss and dry skin. Bloat and constipation. Many vegan foods from the sulfur, oxalate, lectin, and mold groups will cause the bloat, leaky gut, and constipation. And constipation is also a symptom of hypothyroidism. And then the constipation will cause the body to reabsorb the bad estrogens and toxins to further cause bloat, weight gain, inflammation, and hormonal imbalances. So it's this vicious cycle. Fatty liver, you would think that comes from drinking too much alcohol and eating all of the fatty meat, right? Well, that's not caused by that. It is well, yes, alcohol can cause it, but we're talking about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's caused by high consumption of glucose, fructose, and hydrogenated oils. And it's the most common disease among those with metabolic syndrome, including cardiovascular disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes. The inflammatory foods leading to fatty liver will then inhibit the liver's ability to detox the body from bad estrogens, to break down those fats, and then to convert the inactive thyroid hormone T4 into the active thyroid hormone T3. And as a result, the metabolism will slow down, fat burning will halt, and constipation and bloat will become worse. So once again, you can see it's a vicious cycle. Okay, so now I've given you all the reasons to maybe rethink your vegan diet. But what are vegan diet alternatives? Number one, remember, we need to get out of our brains that we identify with a vegan diet and that we are just strictly vegan, and that is our own identity. You're so much more than what you eat. So try to change that thought in your brain to I eat for my DNA, or I'm actually really good at this in my job. I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a daughter, whatever it is. Let's drop the vegan ideology so that is not just your own, the only identity that you hold on to. So that's number one. Number two, prioritize wild animal protein. Some animal proteins like chicken, turkey, pork, and conventional beef contain those amyloid proteins that the body can't break down or utilize, and instead get lodged into the tissues of the body and the brain. They can lead to diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia. And many vegans may have reacted to one of these proteins negatively and assumed that they should cut out all animal protein, but that's not the case. I knew all along, before I knew about amyloid proteins, that chicken just did not sit right in my gut, and same with pork, but I didn't know why. I didn't cut out everything, but I knew not to eat the chicken and the pork. And then what I learned was what we need to do is stick to the wild animal proteins like lamb, bison, deer, elk, Cornish game hen, organic eggs, wild fish. They're all full of dense nutrition without the inflammatory triggers to the gut and the body. And this should be the main focus of your nutritional dietary intake. And even just finding one of the above sources to add into a mostly vegan diet will help tremendously. Unlike vegan protein sources that carry with them the carbohydrates, these animal protein sources contain no carbs, and they can actually lower insulin resistance and increase fat burning, in addition to providing the most nutrient dense source of nutrition. And it's going to trigger that CCK to tell your brain, I'm full, I don't need to binge, and I have now a healthy relationship with food. The wild animal protein is much easier to digest than the conventional chicken, beef, or pork. Then you want to fill in with the healthy fats and the right vegetables. If weight loss is your goal, consume only a limited amount of the healthy fats, like the olive oil, ghee, organic butter, and avocado oil. If you're wanting to lose weight, you want your body to burn its own fat. If you're not wanting to lose weight, eat those healthy fats to your satisfaction. Go for it. And then you want to stick to vegetables like asparagus, artichoke, cucumbers, romaine lettuce, Bibb lettuce, celery, and stay away from the vegetables in the sulfur, oxalate, lectin, and mold groups if those are causing bloat, constipation, and other side effects. Now, do you have to stay away from them forever? No. You can heal your gut through, like my program, the Ascent Diet Cleanse. That's the purpose of it, to heal your gut and give your digestive system a reset. And then you slowly introduce your vegetables that you love one at a time and see if it triggers you. So you might say, gosh, Sarah, your diet is so restrictive. It is if you're suffering a lot of these issues. We want to get you back to base one and then rebuild your gut, rebuild your immune system, get your energy back, and then slowly introduce these foods again. And I found that sometimes if I'm really stressed, I can't have any vegetables. If I'm really feeling like I'm in a good spot with my gut, I can get away with some vegetables that were just absolute no-nos before. Then you incorporate intermittent fasting. By abstaining from eating for a period of time, your gut's able to heal, eliminating the bloat, mobilizing the fat from that dangerous visceral, subcutaneous, and liver fat for energy. And as a result, the energy increases and the bloat decreases, and you're able to get into that state of ketosis or fat burning, where the brain and the body's utilizing your own fat stores for energy. And this helps stave off that hungry or hangry feeling. And you're not in a starvation state. You're experiencing, when you're on a vegan low calorie diet, you are in that starvation state where your metabolism is slowly going to slow down, day after day after day. Intermittent fasting, your body's tapping into its own fat stores. And so it says, oh my God, I've got thousands of calories to burn. Let's rev up our metabolism. Let's burn more calories. I've got plenty to burn. It's the opposite. Then you want to eliminate all the processed foods and the oils. The vegetable seed oils are the most inflammatory and damaging, and they're worse than sugar and carbs. They stay in your system and wreak havoc throughout the body for up to a year, where that sugar and the carbs only are in your system for, a day. These oils are hidden even in healthy vegan or keto foods. The oils are highly processed, and you want to stay away from the peanut oil, grapeseed oil, canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, soy oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and rice bran oil. So if you see those on your even organic soups that you might get from the local health food store, stay away from them. You then need to cut out the fructose. Fructose is metabolized different than anything else in the body. It is absorbed directly through the portal vein and delivered to the liver in a much higher concentration compared to other tissues. And fructose also heightens the de novo lipogenesis, increasing the rate of fructose turning into fat tissue. Fruit is designed to fatten us up, right, for survival. And fruit doesn't need insulin, so it immediately converts into triglycerides. And this is especially dangerous when it comes to fruit juice or high fructose corn syrup. I'm not necessarily talking about a piece of fruit. You can eat those in moderation. I'm talking about the fruit juice and the high fructose corn syrup. You then want to dismiss the vegan identity, like I mentioned. Now, what supplements can you use to enhance your results? Number one is the accelerated keto. It kicks you into that state of ketosis where your body's burning its own fat for fuel, and that insulin resistance is going to start reversing day one. Inflammation comes down. The body's able to heal at a cellular level. ATP production, which is true cellular energy, increases 4 times more than when you're on a typical carb-centered vegan diet. So physical and mental energy increase significantly, and you can use accelerated keto if you are sticking to a mostly vegetarian or close to a vegan diet. You can benefit from the accelerated keto. It also includes those additional fat burning ingredients that defat the liver specifically. No other keto supplement does this. And it breaks down those saturated fats into the unsaturated fats so that your body's burning your excess body fat in a much easier way. It's able to defat the liver. And you know that I want to keep your liver healthy. You need that liver flush 3 to 4 times a year, but the accelerated keto is constantly keeping your liver clean or running in like a well-tuned machine on a daily basis. And the more a person's liver is defatted and unclogged, it's easier the liver is able to function. It's also a much better place for the thyroid hormones to convert from T4 to the active T3. And so as the liver's functioning better, your thyroid's going to work better, your metabolism goes up, and this is going to get rid of that liver fat, the visceral fat, and the subcutaneous fat. And this is truly detoxing your liver the way a vegan diet is supposedly doing, right? But it's not. That vegan diet could actually be tripping up your liver and backing it up from the sulfur and the oxalates in those foods. Accelerated keto also helps maintain muscle mass as well. And as you're doing that and sticking to a low carb diet, intermittent fasting, you're healing your leaky gut, eliminating the bloat, and increasing fat loss all at once. And you feel great. And then the accelerated silver. So many of the vegans actually have low immune systems because of the inflammatory vegan carb heavy diet, imbalancing an imbalance of hormones and low thyroid. So the accelerated silver is helping support the immune system, devitalize those foreign pathogens like viruses, bacteria, fungus, and parasites. Next is the acceleradine. Whether you're vegan, vegetarian, paleo, carnivore, whatever you are, everybody needs the acceleradine. Iodine helps detox every one of the 100 trillion cells in the body from toxins, including the bad estrogens, fluoride, bromide, and chlorine. It also helps with fibroids, PCOS, and other issues related to hormonal balances. And acceleradine is also anti-inflammatory, an antioxidant, and it helps neutralize the inflammation and oxidative stress. Intracellularly, meaning inside the cell, iodine produces energy. Extracellularly, outside the cell, the iodine's acting as that antioxidant, anti-allergenic, detoxifying the body. It's vasodilating, so it's opening up those arteries, and it's autoimmune suppressing. It induces apoptosis, which is the natural death of diseased cells and also of cells during fetal development. Super important for pregnant women and fetuses to get the proper iodine. Helps with IQ, helps with lifting that brain fog and depression. Iodine deficiency is the number one predictor of depression. Acceleradine's the only iodine that's enhanced with scalar energy and radiation free, 100% bioavailable, and can reverse the damage done to the DNA by the mRNA, graphene oxide, and all of that other fun stuff, the spiked proteins. Next is the accelerated ancient scalar salt. And just by putting a little pinch of that salt on your tongue, your cravings and appetite are suppressed. You're getting over 62 minerals. It's helping rehydrate the cells, helps with lowering your blood sugar, and you're avoiding that hangry feeling. It also helps with all of the minerals that we think we're getting from a vegan diet. So it's a full spectrum. It's not just sodium. then it's also charged with the scalar frequencies to help detox the body from heavy metals and radiation, helps replenish the electrolytes and your sugar cravings, lowers that blood sugar, alleviates nausea. And of course, it tastes amazing. I just seasoned my ribeyes for tonight with the accelerated ancient salt and nothing else. It also has a strong negative charge to help pull out the positive charged toxins, parasites, and undigested fats. If you feel nauseous after a fatty meal, that means your liver's backed up and you're having a hard time digesting fats. Just by using this salt, the accelerated salt, you're going to help digest those salts and help with the nausea. Next, this was a game changer for a lot of vegans. And this is the perfect aminos that I started to just carry recently. And it's composed of pure essential amino acids in the exact ratio that is 99% utilized to build new protein and collagen in the body. Not like BCAAs, not like any other amino acid profile supplement, not like whey protein or soy protein. Those only have 17 to 30% absorption. This has 99% with very little calories. So you're getting in one serving the protein equivalent of approximately 30 grams of whey, pea, soy, or collagen. And instead of 120 calories, you only have 2 calories, and it does not break your fast. So what I've been doing is putting it in my workout drink or immediately after during my fasting period, and I'm getting that extra dose of protein. And so it's supplementing my workouts, especially as we get older. We want to keep that muscle mass on our bodies. And many people on a keto diet have trouble taking away their body. They don't know what to do because they want to intermittent fast and not eat around their workout. Well, this is a great solution to that. You can also use it at bedtime, so when you're sleeping, your body repairs itself. The Leaky Gut bundle, the Mega Spore, Mega Pre, and Mega Mucosa. These 3 supplements help control the bad bacteria, encourage the growth of the good bacteria, and repair that mucosal lining that has been damaged by all those plant poisons, the GMO-laden foods, the grains, the beans, all from our vegan diet. You want to repair your leaky gut. I recommend these supplements. I take them on a daily basis. I've tried taking them out and I feel okay, but we are being targeted. Even our organic foods and our organic animals are eating some of these GMO-laden foods. We have to just be on top of it. We are salmon swimming upstream, unfortunately, nowadays. Next is the Wild Lights, and the Wild Lights is an electrolyte balance that has no sulfur or oxalate ingredients, which is amazing. You'd think that we're taking all these electrolyte mixes, and some of them are actually backing up our livers and doing the exact opposite of what we want them to do. So Wild Lights is a great drink. I love to put it into my workout drink with the perfect aminos, and it has a very mild, nice taste, and it's got watermelon, cilantro, and salt in it. Helps with stress, inflammation, adrenal fatigue, immune disruption at the cellular level. It's great. And then you've got the quintessential 0.9, which is another electrolyte mineral formula. It's the exact same composition of our blood plasma. So when you take it, our body goes, oh my God, I love this, because it's exactly what we need. It supports homeostasis, rehydration, normal digestion, while eliminating excess water retention. So you've got the Wild Lights, the quintessential, and the accelerated ancient salt that are all supplying the proper minerals and electrolytes. I use all of them. We are constantly needing more electrolytes. We're all depleted, especially if you're working out or using a sauna or on a low carb diet. Your body lets go of a lot of electrolytes, so you need to constantly refuel. Your energy comes from electrolytes and minerals. It does not come from food. You've got plenty of calories on the body. You need these electrolytes for that, that energy. Berberine HCl. Berberine supports normal glucose and lipid metabolism. It helps with your blood sugar, keeping it steady. So I take it, especially if I'm having any carbs. The HCl helps digestion of the animal proteins, and it really helps, especially as we get older, we need that support, and it inhibits the gut pathogens that become out of control. I take it with my meals. The X49 patch, super important, helps burn fat and build muscle, really important as we're getting old. And that lean muscle increases energy, improves recovery after exercise, improves cardiovascular function and focus, and bone density and hair. So all of these things are things that vegans complain about. It also is enhancing the weight loss results when you're combining it with sufficient amino acids, especially alanine. It's based on the amino acid alanine. And so people, vegans, David Schmidt even says the X49 doesn't work for vegans as well because they don't have the right amino acids. You need those amino acids in the protein. Then the glutathione patch, it helps, it's the master antioxidant, helps detoxify, helps cleanse the liver, especially if it's been backed up by the oxalates and the sulfur vegetables, vegan foods. The glutathione patch, glutathione is based on sulfur. So if you're trying to take a glutathione supplement, it's going to backfire and back up your liver. When you're doing the glutathione patch, it's teaching your body how to produce its own glutathione. It's amazing, and increases glutathione by 300% in 24 hours. Most glutathione supplements, only 14% in over 30 days. And glutathione is very unstable, so it's very difficult to get these results. So compared to a vegan diet, glutathione is much more powerful for detoxification and providing the needed antioxidants. It helps with a lot of immune issues, arthritis, autism, MS, and Parkinson's as well. It's very important for your immune system with what's going on right now as well. The X39 Life Wave stem cell activation patch activates over 4,000 genes or stem cells in the body and resets over 4,000 genes to a younger state, repairs the collagen in all tissues, activates stem cells, and it encourages that apoptosis of cancer cells that we talked about. People notice mental clarity increases, inflammation goes down, wrinkles go away, hair growth, all of those amazing things, especially the important part, the detoxification. So these are the things and the reasons to rethink your vegan or even just your low protein diet. I mean, I know a lot of you are, especially women, are afraid of animal protein. Let's try to get away from that. Support the digestion of it with the berberine HCl and even the Mega Guard. The Mega Guard is new to Accelerated Health Products that helps break down your food in your stomach. You will start feeling so much more energy if you just go to a heavier meat-based diet. I've got two of my very best friends that were wanting to lose weight. They couldn't understand why they weren't. They were whittling themselves down to salad and saying they couldn't eat anymore because the pounds just weren't coming off. I said, give me 3 days. 3 days is all you need to give me. This goes for both of them. I said, do your iodine, your acceleradine, do your accelerated keto in the morning, intermittent fast, break your fast with some bison burgers, 1 or 2 bison burgers, then go until dinner. And when you have dinner, have whatever protein the family's having and just have that. Let's go carnivore for 3 days and see what happens. Both of them said, Sarah, you're like Frankenstein. What just happened to my body? My thyroid turned on. I feel the heat in my body. My blood sugar's stable and the weight is falling off. One of them, who's only been doing it for 3 weeks, has lost 14 pounds. And I'm not talking about someone who was 200 pounds that lost 14 pounds. It was like from, for instance, 132 pounds and lost 14 pounds. She's not obese, she's not overweight. She just had a little weight and inflammation she wanted to get rid of, lost 14 pounds by doing this and feels amazing. So it was just a way to tell that her hormones wanted this, her body wanted this, and she feels so much more energy. The other thing that happened, her plantar fasciitis that was keeping her from actually working out decreased so much that she's now back to hiking and walking her 8 miles that she was doing, which I think is a little excessive, but she's able to do it. That's the point. So anyways, if you have any questions for me about what we talked about today, let go of the mantra in your head. You are not a vegan. That's not your own identity. Let's switch that to the identity of I'm a DNA dieter. I'm a DNA eater. I eat according to my own DNA. So if you have any questions, let me know. Please share this information and this talk with your friends and family who may need to hear it. I know all of us have vegans in our family and friend groups, and please share. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you next week.